Evening, Tiny Truckers. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of True North RC's Garage Talk. We've kind of got a cool episode for you tonight. I want to welcome back Adam Moffat, Bigfoot RC.
Hey, everybody.
He's finally gotten some time from his real job to hang out with us and talk about some toys and some fun stuff that's going on.
Real jobs, eh?
Real jobs. And they're getting sparse now.
Ah, man. You just need to win the lottery and then we don't have to worry about it again.
We won't even get into our economy. Well, build season is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of ideas flowing around. I've talked to a lot of people so far as the colder months have come upon us about some of the stuff they're working on. Some of the stuff customers are working on now are just blowing my mind.
It's crazy.
Like the imaginations we're seeing out there, especially this year, just awesome.
And it's neat to see so many people are transitioning from just building a crawler trail truck into the scale stuff. That, you know, it's just remarkable how many people are transitioning over to scale builds, which is fantastic.
Well, speaking of the modeling aspect of it, Adam's had some fun with these lowriders the last year or so now that you've been working on them. Like, how many do you got now?
I had a couple. I think I have one or two of each of the Red Cat chassis at this point.
One or two, and there's what, 3 different chassis?
Yeah, there's a couple.
I'm sure you all remember the baby blue one that he did, where we did the audio system and everything in it. He's kind of going another route with this one. He's always liked the yellow.
Yep. So
he's been working on this one, and he's done a lot to it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's just a Red Cat 6.4 chassis. Obviously, it's been modified. So the overall build goal is going to be a dually. So we've done the chop the cab, and unfortunately, this was done before the Scottsdale came out. Otherwise, I would have started with a Scottsdale. But so what we've done so far is narrowed up the chassis to get the body to fit. So I think in the baby blue one I did a video on that. I didn't actually have to narrow up the chassis because the body was able to flex out because it was one piece. But when you do the pickup truck conversion with the back cab, you can't flex the body. Yeah. So on this one, we actually had to take it in. I think I cut an inch, maybe an inch and a half off each rail, but the body recesses on there now.
That looks so cool.
It does look cool. So a couple of things that we still got to do to this body is, first and foremost, it is sitting on Tamiya semi-rim. So I know a few guys have done the dually builds, but I don't think I've seen anybody do a dually build with the semi-rim. So I wanted to be one of the first to do that.
The orange Chevy that I've got right now has the RC four-wheel drive dualies on it as well. But that's on an RC four-wheel drive chassis. That's not an on-road chassis that you've converted.
And these are the Tamiya 14 scale dualies, the semi rims. So a couple of things I got to do still. I've got to get the bed actually built, and it's in pieces at the house right now. I had to custom build the fenders for it, the dually flares, just to get them to fit. But the big scary thing that's coming up next is once I get the bed on here is we're going to have to chop the chassis in half because I've got to extend it out now to accept the long bed dually.
I'm going to use the miter saw.
Yes. So we're going to take, a rather expensive chassis, and not that we haven't cut the hell of it already, but we're going to cut it right in half, and then we're going to figure out how to extend this thing. But in the end, it should be cool. It'll be a long bed dually on a Red Cat 6.4, so it'll have the up-down movement.
Are you going to do the
tuned.
scale engine bay and everything?
Absolutely. It'll have a full-scale engine bay. We'll do a full-scale interior again. The interior is tough. I remember on the blue one, you got to do a lot of cutting and rebuilding, but a lot of that can be hidden under styrene and dark black paints and carpets. We'll do the proper pickup truck converted bench in there as well. So that'll give an opportunity to hide electronics. But I think the coolest thing is the bed. What we're going to do is put an actuated tonneau on it. But I was thinking it through, and originally I was going to try to box everything in and make it pretty, but I am going to go with more of a, Grandpa gave you his pickup truck and you wanted to do something cool. So in the bed, I'm going to leave it all open and exposed, but I'm going to put some scale elements. Like I'm going to 3D print a actual fuel tank from under a pickup truck and set it in the bed like the mini truck guys used to. On this end, we'll 3D print and design air tanks, and we'll have the air system. So when the tonneau lifts up, you'll look in, and it's going to look like a mid-project.
I wonder if you could use that new system that Paul from 110 was showing us with. It's got the compressor and the air release.
Oh, maybe we'll do something like that.
Right? Like,
something really unique. I was thinking too, maybe the tailgate will put that on an actuator and have the tailgate open, and we'll figure out some stuff. But yeah, the idea is I want this to genuinely look like, Grandpa gave me his pickup truck. I didn't do any body work to it really, and we're just building something that's
No,
undrivable.
There's a lot of cool features on these trucks that Adam does that a lot of people don't see. I'm not sure if he's going to give the little tips or tricks away, or he's going to keep them close to his chest, like some people, like Kyle. Kyle. But certain things, like, I mean, I've had old Chevys, and we've all had welded on cab corners, and he's done some amazing detail. You've got some videos on your YouTube as well about this build a little bit, right?
I did, yeah. I started a YouTube channel, Bigfoot_RC, and I'm just filming the build progress of this. So
we'll put the link underneath everything once we're done. But are you going to show some of these tricks?
I am, yeah. So this cab, the reason it's sitting on here is kind of twofold. One, I had a Blazer body, and on the other, my channel, I was going to show people how to cut the Blazer body. And then 5 days later, the Scottsdale was released. So I went, why destroy a Blazer body? But I've been building this cab for probably a better part of a year on a TF2. When the Scottsdale was announced, I'm like, okay, I want to go TF2. So I just simply took this cab. But I'm going to be repainting this cab. I'm going to go through my weathering techniques. Like Chad said, I've got some welded cab corners and stuff, and I'm going to do some cool stuff like that on the bed as well. I don't know that I'm going to show the process, but I'm going to definitely show what it looks like.
I would certainly love to see a video on how you do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the cool thing about when you're sharing ideas, especially on a YouTube channel where there's a lot of new guys watching this, you start taking those guys that will buy something like this, which is a very, very stock RTR body, and their imagination starts going, and they start going, holy cow, I saw a video on how to do this, and my truck had a little welded on panel, and I'm going to try this. And you never know what they're going to turn an idea into.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it'll be very cool. So make sure you follow Adam throughout this build process and learn some of these cool tricks.
Yeah.
We've got a little...
the pups.
a little bit of an interruption here.
It's our groupies.
They want their 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be a fun build. I think this one's going to take me most of the winter, which is great. Yep. Lots of other builds on the go, just like you, and the orange Blazer, which looks like a stock Blazer, but when you open the hood on it, it's far from it.
So there's a lot of neat stuff we've been playing with, and a lot of times you get an idea, and this is what I'm going to build, and then it turns around and it does this. I was building a certain truck on this chassis, and now that certain truck is going to be on a totally different chassis. This is on a TF2. I'm going to build it on a C-Max. I haven't decided what type of engine I'm going to put in it yet. If I'm going to use something that I've done in this, or I'm going to give Mr. Comedy a shout out and get him to do something cool for it. I don't know if you can really see much of it in here. I'll kind of tilt the truck forward there. We've got the full detail kit in this thing, and I threw this body on it. We got it from Tiny Tire RC. He had it kicking around, and I mean, I'm just kind of falling in love with this truck. So I'm probably going to take some time and do some cool stuff with this, and we're going to detail it out and do a proper interior and turn this into a more of a stock Blazer. A couple of things I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these big elephant ears, and I'm going to pick up the Traxxas set. So the Traxxas set, you just keep the regular RC four-wheel drive stem and mounting, and then you just take the Traxxas mirror and you drill your hole and you screw it on, and it gives it a lot more realistic size, as well as the Traxxas TRX4 taillights.
You check out the door handles too; they do fit, and they're more of a scale door handle with the push button underneath them now.
Oh, okay. Because I've been 3D printing those. So I mean, if theirs fit nice, and maybe I'll try that out. That'll certainly save some time. But yeah, I'm going to do some cool stuff to this and have some fun with it. There's a couple other new toys that went up to Paris Junction Hobbies up in Paris, Ontario the other day, and we've been waiting for these to come in. So mine finally came in. Shane's didn't, but he got his plastics. So
he can look at his plastics and you can play with the RC. Sounds like a good deal.
Yes. So we got to bring home the new Pro Moto. This thing is wild.
Oh yeah.
Like just wild. I'm really impressed with everything from the tires to the chains, the metal sprockets, the metal disc brakes, the balance. Haven't had a chance to power it up yet. I still have to put on my own XT60 connector and get rid of the smart stuff. And I've got a fella, hopefully I can give a shout out to soon, that's up near 110 Hobbies, that is going to do some cool decals for me. But I've been watching videos on this thing ever since I ordered it. I'm so excited to take this thing out and let it rip.
They're wild. Yeah, I mean, they're wild. If you haven't seen one in person, you know, like Chad said, everything is detailed, but you know, it's chain driven, which is kind of mind blowing, right? This is a real metal chain,
and the sprocket's metal.
Yeah, the sprockets are metal. The brake calipers actually function as the braking of the motors. Like you have to see one, even if you're not going to purchase one or to run one.
Just to
look at it. You know, the shocks are set up appropriately. Everything about this is just
realistic.
It's realistic. It's cool. The only thing I don't like are the big goofy. They serve a purpose.
Well,
you
so
know,
a lot of the videos I've been watching, the training wheels, as I call them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lay the bike down, and anywhere with those on, if you lay the bike down, you can get it to come back up with the gyro system on this. Now, a lot of guys that are getting experience with these bikes have taken those off, and they just, because you can really adjust the angle that you steer. You can put it in wheelie mode. You can get different jersey sets for it. It's crazy. I searched out the Pro Moto on eBay, and talk about a rabbit hole. There's not a part on this bike that you can't buy in aluminum, either red or green or blue or yellow or black or silver. I mean, you could drop $1,500 in aluminum on a click on eBay to do some crazy stuff with this
$3,000 dirt bike. You turn around and buy a real dirt bike by the end of the day, Chad.
Right. Like, I mean, everything from his foot pegs to the calipers to the handlebars to the shocks to everything you can buy in aluminum. The wheels. I've seen some paddle tires for this thing now. I've seen street tires for this thing now. Like, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, I can't wait to get out there and just let it rip.
We better hurry up because it's going to snow soon, and then we're going to have to stare at this thing
just
all winter long.
Put a ski on the front.
Yeah, can you imagine? We could do a little ski setup on it. It is pretty neat. You know, for being as big as it is, I don't think you'd want to go any smaller. You would lose so much detail, but it's going to be fun to see, and especially when there's 3, 4, 5 of these things ripping around, and we all got one ripping around. That's going to be a sight to see.
Well, Shane's got one.
Yeah.
It's coming one day. And then I've got mine now, and I'm going to do some work to it. There are a couple of upgrades that I want to do to it. I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 more kicking around here. I'm going to build some adjustable ramps. So when we cut the racetrack in the side yard this year, we're going to set up a really cool little motocross setup. And I mean, it's just going to be awesome. But Paris Junction is starting to get their Horizon orders rolling in. I mean, I was just up there the other day, and it was box after box after box coming in the back door. So
all the good stuff.
Oh, they're Dave and Destiny and Mateo and Bill, and they've got that store just getting ramped right up for the Christmas holidays for all of you guys to go in there and clear them out again. I mean, when I was in there, I couldn't help it. I had to try one of these little TRX4Ms. So I picked up this one here. Not too sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I got a couple of ideas. It's a really cool little truck. I mean, it comes wired with the front headlights.
Yep.
It's a hard body.
No tail lights?
No. So that's the funny thing. So, I mean, you put all the time into the headlights, but you got to go buy the entire lighting kit to light up the back, which replaces the headlights that they've already wired in.
Thanks, Traxxas.
But they've gone to a hard body, which is really cool.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to cut a badge package for it.
Yep. You should.
I think I'm going to do the wood bed for it. I've got an idea on wheels and tires. It might get a little, repetitive with the blue Ford bodies, but I don't know. It's
blue Ford body, big tires, without giving it away. Can anybody figure out what Chad's building? The badge package will be good. And talking about badge packages too, Chad is designing a cool badge package for this build for all of my lowriders with some logos that I gave him. So remember and keep in mind, if you're looking for not only the pre-cut badges that Chad does, basically any logo within, probably any logo, you can turn it into your own custom badge package.
I can put your face on your own badge.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I mean, we've got some cool badges coming for the lowriders. But I just wanted to float that out there.
It was kind of neat because I did the gold ones for Matt for Scale Builders. And I had a fellow that just picked up one of Matt's trucks, and he's like, "I got one of your gold badges." So I think he might have got the first one from Matt because Matt's been.
But the badges there's a lot of really good Scale accessories, but when it comes down to having actual badges, the RC4 wheel drive metal badges are nice, but
The
you know,
paint wears off.
the paint wears off, and they bend and so forth. But you know, custom badges, in my opinion, listen, if you're going to build scale, you build scale, right?
Well, and I mean, I've had some guys that like, don't be afraid to ask me for something you don't see up on my page, because I mean, there's certain things guys wanted the dash badge for the Scottsdale, so I drew that up. So I have that. I haven't really put it out there to show, but if there's that little piece that you need that you can't quite find anywhere, drop me a message. If I can't make it, I might be able to point you to somebody that can, because I mean,
well, it's tough for you to display everything, right? I mean, because in all honesty, in all fairness, you've got like 45 or 50 badge packages now. I mean, how do you put that all out there? But yeah, custom.
Well, I mean, actually, the easiest way to see what kind of badge packages I have is check out one of the hobby shops, because they've all got them, usually got them in stock. So they'll have a little bit more of a variety than what I show on my page. But I'm getting there. I'm still learning this whole internet YouTube thing. But yeah, I think I'm going to have some fun with this little truck. I mean, Paris got a few of them in, but they're a very cool little well-built truck, and I like the 1:18 scale. It kind of
they're fun.
It's a little bit more capable when you're playing on the indoor courses, or even throwing it in your backpack. These ones here in the FMS, I'm sure throughout the summer we're going to throw them on the back of the real dirt bikes, and take them some cool places and have some fun with them. And the price point's great. I mean, I can't remember what this one was, but I mean, I was in there looking at the little trailers that come with it. They're like $44 for a really nice scale trailer.
Especially if you're a kid, you know, it's hard to justify $800-900 sometimes on an RTR, you know, for your child to get into it, and you know, or you do it like I do, and you buy them for your kid. You know, they don't want them, and you add them to your collection. But you know, something like this, I think these are like what, $2.25.
It's just over $200,
right? So I mean, you know, yeah, there's some investment there, but for a child, that's hours and hours of entertainment. If they don't like it, it's not like you're out $1,000 on a big old RTR.
But you're going to play with it.
Absolutely, you will. 100%.
And the nice thing about these two is all of the hobby shops carry a large line of parts for these, from bodies to axles to, and I'm not even talking upgrades. I'm just talking stock replacement parts. So if, again, like Adam said, if you're giving it to your child for Christmas and he's breaking links, or he's breaking an axle, or he's breaking a wheel hub, or a C-knuckle or something like that, you can usually walk right into the store, buy the parts you need, bolt it on. I mean, I can't speak for every hobby shop, but these ones up here are probably some of the best service that you're ever going to get in the industry. So not only that, they certainly have the time. If not, you could drop it there and they'll fix it for you. I mean, I can't wait.
You know, in some cases, there's more readily available replacement parts for the small scale stuff than there is for the big scale stuff, right?
These things have taken off.
And cheap. Replacement parts are cheap. So if you haven't got into the small scale stuff yet, you know, it's well worth checking out. Maybe next year, you know, we do the Warsaw event, which we're planning another event for this year coming up. And we'll definitely have 18/24 scale course again at it. And, you know, it's just fun. And they're great in the wintertime. We come over to Chad's place. You can't see it in the picture. I think on our TikTok channels we've done videos, but you know, we got indoor crawler course. So it's just fun and enjoyable. But what else are you thinking for the winter? I know you've got at least one more build that's floating around, and it's also orange.
So it all depends. I know Chris is going to be, that's on his winter project. So I've got my dually Chevy. It's going to be a puller truck for, you know, trailers and whatnot.
Goosenecks and all that fun stuff.
So it's going to have a fifth wheel on it as well as a pintle. But Chris is, for the C-Max, he's making a bumper / plow mount, kind of like what you'd buy for your regular TF2s and stuff, but the C-Max is a little bit more narrow. So he's going to set it up that if you wanted to now on a C-Max put an aftermarket bumper on, or you wanted to put a plow on, or for example, on mine, I've got a big, huge aluminum Chevy symbol that's going to be the weight for the puller truck. It can just slide on. So that one there, I'm certainly going to get back and start ripping into the interior.
It'll be ready for summertime driving.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see how that does on the puller track and actually get some scale puller trucks out there. So I know Chris has got that on his plate. Shane has a step-side Chevy body. But there's no time limit on that for him, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get that. Maybe one day I'll get my FJ back from Kyle. Maybe.
Kyle, that guy who's had that thing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years now.
I didn't
Kyle?
hear that. You know, the super famous guy. We're just busting your chops.
Super Scale. We're going to rename him to Super Time to build the truck.
No, they're the same thing. There's no time limit on that build. We love you, Kyle. But yeah, so there's that. There's a couple other things. We've got an old Radio Shack truck that Dana Lloyd, Mr. Berkeley, Mayor of Berkeley, got us. That these things were just old and toy grade, but
80s era Radio Shack trucks.
Yep, but we're going to hobby grade these things. We've already got a lot of work done on them.
Yeah, we got, about 10 or 11 of us got them, so we're going to do a little build off.
And then we're going to race them up at Berkeley.
Yep.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
It'll be the most exciting slow race on a truck with no suspension you'll ever see in your life.
Yep. We've also got the scale trailers that are going to be released this winter. So they should be out and available soon. We've got a lot of planning to do for our event next year. So there's going to be myself, Bigfoot RC, GCM. So far, the three of us for sure are going into this with both feet. And we are going to try and plan an Ontario event that is just going to be so much fun.
Awesome.
We're
awesome event.
Trying to dial in a couple of things. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the books for the winter. And I mean, the True North Crawl Series, we've already made that decision. So we'll let you know when, but we're going to do the first one of the season at Rockwood.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
we'll go back to Rockwood. It's always a fun area, big, vast. You want trail, they got trail. You want rock, they got rock. You want hills, water, everything.
So we're going to talk to Jesse there and Don and them at the Ontario, Southern Ontario Scalers.
Yep.
So we're going to talk to those guys, and I'm sure Jesse has a couple of buddies, Flightcraft or whoever else wants to get involved.
Yep.
And we'll make it a lot of fun.
It should be.
They got lots of parking. So we're going to make it so when they do open up the lower section of parking, so then that way we're not just subjected to the upper. So that way we've got lots of parking. So get your builds ready for that, because I think I'm going to do a little bit of a show and shine there. So for the kickoff of the year. So there'll be some scale trophies available for your builds, and of course we'll let you know the categories and everything else when that gets out there. So,
but that won't be until the snow melts. So you got plenty of time to do some building and tinkering. And I mean, gosh. Between that and other builds, I think I have enough builds set aside right now that I can build for the next 3 years, which is wonderful. We've got another 2 lowriders on the go.
I'm spending more time cleaning up after my builds than
it's terrible. But it's not terrible. It's great. I've also got, I was lucky enough to get one of the RC Everyday Rat Rod kits that I'm building.
Yes. We showed that. We had a video of that
we did. A little while ago. So we've made some progress on it. It's been tough getting some of the components I need, and honestly, it hasn't been a real priority. It's going to be a lengthy build. So
I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that a little bit.
Yes,
because I want to do the bezels for the dash. I want to do a wooden dash. I want to do a wooden firewall. We were talking about maybe some door skins out of
a couple different things on it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying some cool stuff out with that. I mean, they're everywhere. We're seeing them. Like he just got a bunch of kits in. So I mean, RC Everyday has got everything listed up online.
Well, and it's cool because I've got to order some stuff, but he's now got the bed sides for it. I believe he added a new hood and grill combo. So these guys, if you're looking to build something really cool, you can start building. Not only something cool. They are a kit, mind you, not even a kit. You got to do a lot of scratch building, but you can really, dial it into what you want now.
Well, the cool thing is he's a builder. He's not just a manufacturer. He's a builder. So he's constantly, working on these and just making them different, making them better, and just, so I think we're going to see quite a few of those things rolling around with all different ideas come spring, because I think one of the things we're going to add to the show and shine is a rat rod category.
Absolutely.
I missed that from when SoCrawl used to host the G6. I miss seeing some of the rat rod builds and some of the ideas, because they can be themed, they can be unthemed, they can be new and shiny, old, rusty.
Absolutely.
Right? So
rat rods, I think we were talking, like a street low ride. We'll have a couple of categories, because honestly, like I'm digging building this. I've got another Blazer project on the go on the all chrome chassis, and Shiny Shane's going to do the paint job, which we're going to theme it like that 90s era lowrider. But I mean, there's so many people since I started building these, though, that are building them. So why not have categories available, right? And that's kind of what we were saying was, the more people we can get out. It doesn't just have to be crawlers anymore,
No,
right?
no. And I mean, we've all got a lot of time and money into some of these semi trucks. So, I mean, I'd like to, you know, when we do find the spot for the event, it would be nice to be able to
Move everything.
find, you know, somewhere to add those in. I mean, we did a memorial run for Richard Howard's father this summer.
We did.
It was so nice to see all the transport trucks out. I mean, it was certainly touching for the family to see everybody that came out.
And I'll tell you, what did we have, a dozen?
Yep.
To see a dozen
Yep.
14 scale semi trucks. We had lines of traffic stopping at the side of the road. It was wild, right? And it's just a really cool atmosphere to have that many people together with, you know, like we do big crawls, right? 60, 70 people crawling, but to have a dozen or more, you know, 6 foot long semi trucks
With sound and lights and all this stuff.
We're going to do more of the on road stuff this year.
Definitely, because the one we did in Hamilton
was
so
a blast.
much fun. I mean, we saw everything from transport trucks to crawlers to on-road cars.
Low riders, you name it. It was a blast.
And we've got so many on-road and low riders and street-type vehicles now. It's hard to pick one when we go out for these on-road, you know, get-togethers. So keep your eye open for that, because we're going to probably do one of those right after Rockwood. Try and get, you know, a nice spring day and maybe get back down to the harbor.
Well, and you know what? There's a few places we were talking in Oshawa too, but the harbor is fantastic for paved groove. We got Oshawa.
There's a spot in Oshawa that I was out visiting Kyle, and it's like a small city of concrete roads, and then across from there is a trail through the bush, and there's a small creek. He had suggested maybe contacting GTA Crawlers, which, by the way, is probably one of the most organized groups I have ever gotten to work with. Mm-hmm. Thank you for doing that, guys. And doing something out there and doing like an on-road semi part and then a trailing part and just turning it into just a blast of a day. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Big things in 2024. I was going to say 2025, but I guess that's a couple years out.
and the people I've talked to, build season is in full swing.
Yeah.
Like guys they're like, oh, it's cold, it's wet out, I'm building a truck. And some of the pictures I'm getting sent to me on the True North page, I'm just like,
phenomenal.
Cow.
Phenomenal.
Like everybody is like, I mean, when we start doing the show and shines next year, I can't wait because people have stepped it up. Like there is some really cool scale trucks. And I mean, the ideas that I'm hearing is just going to be awesome. But make sure you guys share your ideas. Not only that, is the True North Crawl Series page is still active on Facebook. When you go trailing, I would love to see your videos. I would love to see your trucks. I would love to see your winter builds that you want to debut at the Show and Shine in Rockwood. Keep them coming. I'd like to see all the new stuff happening.
Absolutely.
All right.
For sure.
All right, guys. You have a fantastic night, and we'll talk to you soon. Keep the rubber side down.
See you, everybody.